and they seen her head and all that good stuff. She gets stuck, and they don't say anything. They just push my fiance out of the way, and they jump on top of me, and then they started pushing down on my belly, not saying anything. So I start hyperventilating, and I'm praying. I'm like, please God, let my baby be okay. Like, what's going on? They're like, page the doctor. Page the doctor. Hey, y'all, my name is Elisa. I'm a 20-year-old stay-at-home mom, and I'm 3 months postpartum as of, today. But anyways, let's jump right into the story. So, I don't care what anybody says. That first, last 3-4 weeks of your pregnancy, you just want the baby out. I was moping around for so long to the point where I was doing the pregnancy dances, the pregnancy videos, mile circuits. I was on the yoga ball. I was on the step ladder. I was doing everything that I possibly could to get the baby out. And then eventually I started looking on TikTok, like, how can I, induce my labor the best way that I can. Sorry, my nose is running. Not pay attention to it. Anyways, how can I do my labor the best way that I can? So I finally found thoughts. Can you speak right? Maybe sometime today. So I finally found a video on TikTok from a midwife who was saying how to induce labor, but only try this at the end of your pregnancy. So what you're gonna do, you'll have your spouse or your support person. They're gonna massage like the bottom of the very lower back, and they're just gonna do that in a circular motion, add pressure, and then you're gonna, after that, and you get nice and relaxed. It's supposed to be something that's very sensual and intimate. After that, you're gonna do what you did to get that baby up in there. How you get them in is how you gonna get them out, okay? Yeah. But anyways, so once you do that, I went into labor 2 hours after I did that. And I knew it was labor because I felt I started having really bad cramps. That's what contractions feel like. They feel like cramps. I don't know what nobody else is talking about. They say it feels not like cramps. Everybody has, their bodies are different. Everybody's have different experiences. But it just felt like period cramps to me. So I went to the bathroom to check. I'm like, oh, maybe, because I was in my mind, I'm like, oh, maybe, it's here. And I was kind of getting excited. So I went to check and I'm like, there's blood. And I'm a Google freak. But I don't look at Google to the point where I feel like I'm dying. Okay, I trusted up to blood so much. So once I seen that, it was just okay, early signs of labor. Cool. But then it started getting a little bit stronger. And I have a high pain tolerance. But I'm like, babe, I think it's time. We should go. So we went to the hospital around, what was that? Maybe about 7 in the morning. And my fiance had a job, so he was going to push his job back. So he's like, okay, well, they need to tell us what's going on. Oh, there's a fly. Okay, great. They need to tell us what's going on. So as soon as we get there, the first nurse was literally so nice. I loved her. She was making me laugh. She made me feel so comfortable even when she was doing my cervix check, because I specifically said verbatim, my whole time while I was pregnant, I did not want anyone to do cervix checks unless they medically had to. But I'm like, I know that I can't have such a tight rein on how things are supposed to go, because that's not how life is. And you know that that thing that they say, tell God your plans and God laughs. It was definitely like that. So I feel like that was a lesson in it as well for me, because I kind of I like to plan things out. As far as it goes to important details, things like that, I like to plan things out, and I sometimes I get so caught up in how things are supposed to be that I forget that life happens. So she just made me feel very comfortable, and I let her do the cervix check. She was very supportive of me and my fiance, so I just really liked her. But so I was only, I was 2 centimeters dilated. I was so disappointed. I'm I had to be more, because I'm man, I started having contractions at 12, and she's like, oh girl, it's gonna take you, this your first child, it's gonna take you a little longer to get that baby up out of there. She was like, but once you have that second and that third, they're just gonna start popping out. I said, okay. So we go back home. Well, no, she gave me some juice, and then she sent me back home, and she gave me different positions on the yoga ball of how I could sleep, because I didn't get no sleep that night. And, things that I could do to, just kind of stay in good spirits and low stress level. And at that time, I had downloaded the Christian hypnobirthing, so I was listening to that in my headphones. I was, doing all that stuff when I got home. And my fiance had went to work, and his sister was here just watching me and helping me and things like that. So I went to sleep for a while. just purely off of the Christian hypnobirthing. It was reading me just different like verses. It was saying like your body's meant for this, like even down to the last letter. God, planned how your birth is gonna go. He, planned your body for this and everything like that. Everything that just makes you feel very calm. And it's just like very like a monotone tone where they just talk like this and so I would sleep. I would sleep for like a good 3 hours and I'd get up and I'd come to the bathroom and I just check like I was just checking mostly for bleeding because I didn't want that to be super excessive. And I was scheduled to have a birth at Winnie Palmer, but I also have a hospital right next, like literally right down the street. So I'm like, if it's extra blood, that's where we're going, over there to Advent, okay? But it was fine for the most part. I just kept coming back to the bathroom, come back in here. I would try to eat a little bit because she was like, after you get like past that 5 centimeters, you're not gonna want to eat anything. So I was trying to eat and stay hydrated and all that good stuff. And then eventually I started doing the mouth circuits. I was on the yoga ball again. I was trying to practice my breathing. Like, breathing techniques, like, is super, super important. Like, breathing that 4 in and that 6 out gets the job done, okay? So then I went to the bathroom because there's a certain position that you can sit on the toilet. And it helps, like progress your labor a little bit. So literally what you're going to do is... sorry. So literally what you're going to do is you're sitting on the toilet, like, on the back part, and then you're going to hold your head like on the toilet bowl, and then if you have like heels or like something that you can prop your feet up with, you put that under your feet and then you just lay there for a little bit. And I did that, fell asleep there. I would sleep for like the longest. Like, I have a very high pain tolerance. Then my fiance came home. We walked around the block for like a good 2-3 times. Eventually we came back in the house. Fast forward, we're gonna fast forward to like when I got to about 7 centimeters. It just started feeling like, it felt like if you have like a very heavy period, or this is just anybody, if you like eat some ice, you know how it feels when like you know that feeling when you know like a blood clot is about to come out. I know this is TMI, sorry, but you know like the feeling when like a blood clot is about to come out. That's what it felt like. So I'm like, babe, I feel like I'm pushing, like this is intense, this is different. I kept waking him up out of his sleep. He's like me in that way, like we don't like to be getting woken up. He wasn't annoyed with me because he knows, like, I'm in pain. He was being supportive, but, he was sleeping. So I just kept waking up like, babe, this was different. Like, I'm pushing. Like, this is different. So he's just helping me breathe, and he's doing the, massages on the back to, like, kind of counterfeit the pain and everything. Eventually, we went ahead and went to the hospital at, like, 3... I want to say, like, 3 or 4 in the morning. So we get there. I did not like the nurses that were in general admission. I like to feel kind of personal when it comes to my health, because like I'm the type of person, like, I don't feel comfortable that much with hospitals and things like that. Like, it's not like I won't go to the hospital if things are wrong. It's just like, make me feel comfortable a little bit, like make me feel like I can like share with you and that I'm being heard. And I get it. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Nurses have 12-hour shifts and things like that. So I was like, I'm not even gonna put it past you. But it got annoying because they could not find a vein. Then I was going to have a natural birth, and I told the lady that. And she was like, you're going to have a natural birth? I was like, yeah. I was like, or, like, if I can get the gas, And she was like, girl, that gas don't do nothing. You might as well just get the full epidural. I'm like, even if that may be the case, can you, like, say something else? I don't know. I just felt very sensitive at that time, and, like, that just kind of got on my nerves. And then they couldn't find a vein. They stuck me in both of my hands, most uncomfortable places, and then, like, here, I'm like, they could not find a vein. They're like, oh, you must be dehydrated. So once they checked my cervix again, like I said, it was very impersonal experience. Like, they didn't really make me feel, it was just very impersonal. You get it. But anyway, so I get up. I'm 5 centimeters at this time. So we get up to the room. No, I'm not 5. I'm 7 centimeters at this time. My bad, y'all. It's like, it is 10:11 at night, and I'm making this video. Look, you gotta get in there while you can, okay? But I'm 7 centimeters at this time, so they're getting my room together and everything. And the lady comes in to take me to my room. I walked. Up in the elevator, I walked straight to my room, wherever it was at. I wasn't even playing with it. When I'm in pain, I can't just sit still. I have to move. Like, something about me has to move. Either that or I have to go to sleep. Either or. And at that time, I could not sleep at all. I didn't sleep that entire night. Like, I kept, like, even if I did go to sleep for like a good 5 minutes, I was still awake. So I was just like, ugh, like, I'm tired. I just, let's do whatever we gotta do. But I was like, can I walk? And she was like, you wanna walk? I'm like, yes. She's like, okay, you can walk. So she was just, taking her time with me. I did like that nurse. I wish she really would have stayed on my service, but it's fine. But then we get up into the room and they try to do the IV thing again. Eventually, they, I guess, found one. They found one in my arm. I mean, my hand. And then they put one in here as well for, like, hydration because they're like, oh, your blood pressure is, it's kind of spiking and, things like that. So they were just monitoring me a lot. And then eventually I was just like, can I get the epidural? And I was like, I couldn't sleep. And it was like, in my mind, all I kept thinking about is how much stress I've, like, heard, and, from birth stories and things like that, how much stress moms are put under to the point where they could go into preeclampsia. And I just didn't want that to happen to me. And I was just praying to God, like, if he could calm it down and everything like that. And so I was just like, I'm just go ahead and get the epidural. I told my partner, he was like, yeah, do your thing. Go ahead and get it. Nobody's gonna, fault you for that. Because, like, I wanted it to be a natural birth. But the way that things were going and the fact that I could not sleep, like, that entire night, I just felt too tired to even think about pushing. So got the epidural. Fast forward to about 10 o'clock in the morning. That's when the midwife came in. Nothing towards the midwife. Maybe she had a long shift. I don't know if she was just starting her shift or what. It just, like I said, it was very impersonal. And she just wasn't very, like, welcoming to me. Like, they were talking to me, but it didn't feel like, I get it. Their bedside manner doesn't have to be a lot. At the end of the day, we get in and out. Y'all deliver a bunch of babies a day. You don't have to be that personal. But it's like, I want to feel like I'm at home a little bit. Like, talk to me like you're my sister or my cousin or something. Like, I don't know. But, so she came in, she checked my thing, and I'm still at 7 centimeters at 10 o'clock in the morning. Mind you, it's been a full extra day now. So, so she's like, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have to start you on Pitocin, and we're going to have to do the Foley balloon. Both of these things, I said I did not want it, and I put it on my birth plan. But what I'm glad about is that they didn't, like, push for me to have a C-section. You know what I mean? Because, like, that would have just sent me over the cliff. Like, that would have been overly aggravated because I'm like, what do I do C-section for? But so I'm glad that they didn't, like, bring it up or anything. So she's like, so we're going to give it a little bit more time till about 3. That's what she said. I think it was like 1 or 2 or 3. She was like, we're going to give it to this time and then we're going to do the Foley balloon. I'm like, okay. I know. I'm confident because I prayed. I was like, Lord, please don't let me have to get this Foley balloon. Let my water break on its own. At the very least, if I can't, naturally do this and I have the epidural, please let my water break on its own. And she came back at 3. My water broke. Just as she was trying to insert the balloon. But I tell you what, God is so funny for that. Like, literally. He was so funny for that. And I was just giggling to myself in my head. I'm like, oh. Okay. So then the nurse that I had, the one that's on my new service, she was a good nurse. Like, she made us feel at home. She was telling me about her kids, telling me how, her first baby experience went. Like, we were talking about how, like, this TMI for everybody else, if y'all are discussing, I'm so sorry, but how, she was worried if she pooped on herself. And I was like, yeah, I'm worried about that too. Like, I'm like, oh, I haven't really eaten anything, so I'm like, I hope I don't poop. Please God, don't let me poop on myself. So she's, like, teaching me how to push and doing the breath work. And I did have on my birth plan that I wanted a squat bar, and I did ask for one. But at that point, it really didn't matter because I couldn't feel anything from, like, the waist down. Like, I couldn't feel my feet at all. Another thing they don't really tell you about the epidural is, like, it'll make you so cold to the point where you're, like, overly shivering. And that's what was happening to me. Like, even with blankets on, I was still, like, extremely cold. I pushed my baby out in 15 minutes. But then here's where, like, the trumpet started playing a little bit. I ain't gonna lie. Because my fiance and the nurse, they had my feet, right? So they're just pushing, and my baby's coming out, and they seen her head and all that good stuff. She gets stuck, and they don't say anything. They just push my fiance out of the way, and they jump on top of me, and then they started pushing down on my belly, not saying anything. So I start hyperventilating, and I'm praying. I'm like, please God, let my baby be okay. Like, what's going on? They're like, page the doctor. Page the doctor? For what? So I'm like, I'm hyperventilating to the fullest extent, like, please God, like, let my baby be okay. So then my fiance goes over to, they get my baby out, clamp the cord, And then they take her over they lay her on me. Yeah, they lay her on me for like 2 seconds. I try to hold her. I'm thinking like maybe they're gonna let me hold her. No, they take her and they put her like where the warmer is, and my fiance went over there, and they're like, oh, and then they're like looking at me and they're like, what's going on with her? And they're like, oh, she's crying. I'm like, yeah, I'm crying. I'm like, y'all, it's kind of freaking me out. Y'all not saying anything. So eventually they're like, oh, she got stuck. So next pregnancy, just tell them that your baby had shoulder dystocia. Even though it was like for 15 seconds, my girl is good. Both of her arms are strong. Like, it wasn't super severe, because I know that could be super severe, especially if they get stuck for a long time. But, this is my first baby. Sometimes the hips don't open up as much as they need to. But it is what it is. She's healthy. It's fine. But I just feel like they should have told me something in that moment to, like, calm me down, too. Especially if y'all are worried about my blood pressure. I feel like that spiked my blood pressure even more. But, so after all of that, they did my stitches and everything, and I'm sorry if y'all keep seeing me look, it's because I'm like looking over at something else. If y'all don't know, I have like a very short attention span, so I have to keep like going back and forth. But I'm with you, okay? But where was I? Sorry, my bad, my bad. But so after that, so I go to the bathroom. They make me pee and do all that stuff because when you get the epidural, they have to put the urethra tube when you get the full one. So I go pee and everything, and they teach me how to clean up after myself with postpartum care and all that stuff. And she's putting the stitches. No, this is before that. She put the stitches, right? And she's getting annoyed with me because my abdominal muscles are flexing, and I'm telling her, like, I don't know how to control this. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't feel what you're doing. And, like, this is the midwife, mind you. And she's getting upset with me, like, can you stop doing that? I'm trying to, like, she didn't say it like that, but basically that was the tone that she gave. And I wasn't with it. I was just like, I'm sorry. Like, I can't help it, like, a little bit. And even, like, when they were, like, pressing on my stomach, I still really couldn't, like, help what I was doing. So after that, they clean me up. They teach me how to, take care of myself postpartum. And I already bought my stuff from home because, I was watching my videos. I had it down packed. Why did I think that Dermoplast, that benzocaine, all that stuff was going to help? And it didn't. There was no numbing factor in it at all, except for, like, it gives you, like, a cooling effect. It's like you're spraying water down there, essentially. Nothing is happening. But after that, we get to the room. Like, I still wasn't really interacting with my baby like that, because, like, I really didn't feel connected, like, for, like, a minute, for, like, a good week or two. And I know that was, like, baby blues, and that was, like, in my head and everything. And, like, it kind of was hard to connect to her, especially when I got home, because my fiance had to work. Like, he stayed home with me, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, you still got to go back to work. And then I got to, get into my motherhood bag and, adjust and things like that. So, but after that, it started being smooth sailing. Like, after the baby blues subsided and all that, and, you really got to combat the enemy and what he tells you in your head. Because I feel like that has a lot to do with postpartum. You got to tell the devil he is a liar for real. Because if you do not, it's going to take over your mind and take over your body. And you won't be able to care for your baby or your family at all. You got to, even in the midst of it. Like, you have to realize what's really going on. Postpartum, I feel like, and I say this all the time to my friends when they ask, postpartum is more spiritual than it is physical. And I say that about other stuff as well. But overall, my birth experience, I wouldn't change it for the world. Because at the end of the day, my baby girl got here. I may have had a few, little ticks, but that's okay. But if y'all like this type of content, you know what you gotta do. You gotta like, you gotta subscribe, you gotta follow, you gotta share, do all the things. Okay? And I'm gonna see y'all next time. Bye.